We are DV, and in case you didn't already know, we are identical twins. So shout out to all the twins out there.
Yep.
Yeah, man, thank you for being here. Appreciate you tuning in. Today is Monday, February 17th, 2025. Here again. I'm very, very thankful to be here. So yeah, be fearless. There's nothing to fear. Fear is a lot of different things when you think about it. It manifests in a lot of different ways. But one thing I can say for sure is that it is not anything good for you. There's nothing good that fear can produce. Fear can be very crippling, depending on the person and what you've gone through in the past. Maybe it may strike fear in your heart, in your nervous system, in your mind, and it can be very, very debilitating. But I say be fearless, because we're here to fucking live. We can't control what happens in life. We can't control the circumstances. I mean, we can guide ourselves. We can, try to stay on a certain path, pick a path and try to stay on that path. And you should do it fearlessly, because we don't know what's coming. Not for real. We can see foreshadowing. We can anticipate, but we don't really know what's coming in life. You just go with it. But you gotta do that without fear. Because you can't do shit with the fearful heart. You could try, but it never produces anything good. You'll get fucking half-ass results. Not to mention the fucking physical, it ain't a benefit, so I can't say benefit. The physical effects it has on you. It causes all types of health problems. It causes stroke, heart attack, anxiety. That's from thinking too much. Stomach problems. Because a lot of people tend to hold, especially if you're an emotional person and you're sensitive and you're affected by your environment very easily, you're gonna hold all that in. Most likely, a lot of people tend to hold that shit in the stomach, and that's why fear affects the stomach. And it comes in forms of ulcers, nausea. It comes in the form of what else? It can be even gas, believe it or not. If you're holding your stomach like that, holding all that tension in, you start getting gas. I know.
So, yeah. When it comes to making, for instance, touch on what he was talking about as far as making decisions from fear. I've seen that a lot with people around me. Also in the past with myself. I can't remember one time where a decision was made under fear where it turned out right. Not one time. It's like, if you make decisions from making decisions from a fearful place is the same way of making a decision from a desperate place, right? From a need feeling, I have to do this. If you make a decision from I have to do this, then 9 times out of 10 it's not gonna turn out very well.
Yeah.
It just won't. I've seen examples of it so many times. So, real quick, mini lesson from that is don't make decisions from desperate places, aka fearful places. Don't do that.
Fear serves us in a way, and the only, fear was, I think the idea of fear was really just meant to, I guess in certain times, innately was there for us to survive, but I don't even see that as, being alert will help you survive, being observant will help you survive. Being fearful really doesn't help you, even in that situation, now that I think about it. So I really don't agree with that. No. I think, like I said, really fear can help you for shit. Fearing an event that's not even here yet, that you don't even know if it's gonna happen or not. How insane is that? You don't even know it's gonna happen, but you're fearful of it. You're constantly thinking about it. It's ridiculous. It makes more sense to just deal with it as it comes. Well,
I think fear has its place. I think if it can make you alert, then you should let it stay at that place and let it be that.
But
anything past that, I think, can be fearful. Fear can be harmful, obviously. But I think everything that exists has its place, a positive place. I think at the point to where it can make you alert, to where it can make you aware, that's where it should stop at.
I mean, I that's what I was just saying. I was like, I thought that at first, but I'm like, it's not, is it fear? Just being alert alone will keep you safe.
But being alert, but I'm saying fear can bring about alertness. Fear can bring about alertness. It can bring about awareness.
But
that's where it should stay.
But even that, you could just choose to be alert and leave the fear out.
You could. But my point I'm trying to make is fear has its place, a positive place. And also, some people sometimes need fear just to bring the alertness out of them.
Yeah.
Some people aren't naturally just alert. Yeah. Some people, sometimes you need that fear to bring it out of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To make you aware of it. Yeah. But I think that's where it should stay. Now, when you go overboard with it, the obsessiveness over it, the excessiveness of awareness or alertness, over-aware, over-alert, now you're fight or flight in a stress mode now.
That is a scary ass nigga.
Yeah.
You know, and that shit is not a good look.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just being scary of everything. Oh, what if this happens? What if that happens?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, that's some coward shit. You know, and I don't mean to judge, but I'm just not built like that. And my environments would never let me be anyway. But I don't think it's in my blood. I'd rather face the shit and see what happens. You know what I mean? Than live my life running around avoiding situations that could happen. You know, unpleasant situations. That's some scary shit to me. You know, it's like life is what it is. You know. And let's just hope for the best, you know. 9 times out of 10, they say that the shit that you worried about the most won't even happen, you know.
It's true.
I think that's kind of true because I thought about that.
I wonder what the percentage of that is. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a percentage of that.
I say it's a high percentage.
Yeah, I'd like to know what that is for sure.
And I'm glad I heard that too because it kind of let me stop believing in those things. Like, stop even thinking about the worst that could happen. For what? Why even entertain it? It's not going to help me. It's not going to make me feel better. I'd rather just fucking have a good day with the time that I have. Instead of sitting there worrying about what could happen, what could go wrong. Yeah. Well, this is what's right. I'd rather just enjoy that, whatever it is.
And let's speak on what you say about worrying about what could go wrong. Literally worrying about what could go wrong is forming, it's shaping what could go wrong to go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're doing. You're feeding the image, the idea, the image of it, because you're feeding it with that emotion, right? That fearful image, which is a strong emotion, by the way, strong energy. You're creating that same thing that you're thinking that could go wrong. You're creating it. You're creating it. So that's the real catchy thing about that. Is another reason for no other reason not to be fearful is don't want to create it. Don't fear it. Because you're creating it. The very fear of that is what's creating that. You know, through emotion and through the image of that, the thoughts of that, you're creating it. You're feeding that. You're growing it. You're gonna make it happen through the fear of that. So for any other reason, if you need any other reason not to fear something, is don't fear that.
Yeah, I mean that's one reason why, in my opinion, why I think it's healthy not to either not watch the news or don't watch too much of it. I personally don't watch the news. Never really have. I mean, from my experience, most of it's a lot of negative.
What up,
bro? What up? A lot of it's a lot of negative information. You know, just stuff that my mind don't really need to entertain too tough.
Right.
You know, I know what's working in my world. That's the only world I need to be worried about. Really, to be for real. I can't save everybody any goddamn way. I can save myself though. So that's where I focus my energy. I'd rather not worry about what's going on on the news. I'm gonna hear about it anyway. Somebody at work gonna talk about it. I'm gonna hear about it anyway. But I don't need that to be the first thing I look at in the morning on my phone, you know. I just don't care enough to let that affect me. But yeah, I say that because that is a form of fear too, you know. A lot of that information in there, or at least could produce fear for you, you know. Everybody has their own reactions to information that they hear. But it could produce fear. It's not conducive to being stress-free, I'll tell you that.
Speaking of the news, I've always made fun of this, and I don't know how many of you haven't already caught on to this, but it's been said many times, and I've always said it. You know, as far as talking about watching the news, how much of the news is actually new? How much of it is the shit that you haven't already heard before? But you're fearful of it every time they mention it across the channel. But for real, how much of it is shit that you didn't already know? It's just if anything, it's reminding you of something that you've already known, which is really just beating you over the head with more fearful shit to worry about. But ain't too much of it actually new. Think about that. It's kind of ironic they call it news. It's never really that much that's not really that you haven't heard before. You know, something you weren't already aware of. It's not really new. It's sensational, and that was by design. But just something to pay attention to. Something I've always paid attention to. It's another reason why I don't watch the news. If you want to be all heavy alert, in fearful mode again, then yeah, go ahead and watch that shit. But to be honest, I think that's what it's only designed for, or mostly designed for. We won't get into why. I'm pretty sure you can think about it and figure out why. Or maybe we'll do another video on that. But really, it's mainly just to sensationalize things, bring about heavy emotion. But yeah, pay attention to that news.
So I heard there's an acronym for fear. They say false evidence appearing real, something like that. So the thing it makes me think when you say it's false evidence that appears to be real. So that indicates that it's not really real. So to me, when I hear that and I understand that and I try to understand that it's not real, it makes me look at it differently. It makes me look at whatever is making me have these fearful feelings. It makes me want to look at the truth of it. What's underneath this? Why am I having these feelings? Am I really afraid of it? Or am I just anxious and don't understand or don't know? Am I just insecure to approach it? Am I really afraid of it?
Yeah, because then when you look at that, what is fear even real? I mean, obviously we just talked about fear is not really real.
Right.
Even more, fear don't even, another way to say it, fear don't exist, based on what you just said. Because like you said, maybe it's just anxiety of the unknown, right? I'm anxious about what's to come, but I don't know what exactly it is. So now I'm anxious about it. But
So
that really
so really fear? I could just be really excited.
Exactly.
And I'm just scared that because I don't know.
Once again, are you really scared? Though?
Yeah, am I really scared? Am I just anxious? Yeah, is it just anxiety?
I'm a little nervous about it.
A little nervous
because it's
about it.
unknown.
It's unknown, right?
I'm ready to go. Maybe I'm just nervous because I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Felt that way before on stage. That's something that used to make me wonder. I used to say I had stage fright when I used to perform. I said I had stage fright. Realizing I never had stage fright. I love doing what I did. I love rhyming. I love being in front of people talking. I love that. I got adrenaline and love out of that. But see, that adrenaline made me think that I was scared to talk to those people, scared to sing that song in front of those people. I wasn't scared at all. I was anxious because I didn't know exactly how this was going to turn out. I didn't know what the crowd was going to feel or what they wasn't going to feel. And most of all, I was excited just to get out there and get it cracking, right? But that wasn't fear. That wasn't fear at all. I wasn't scared at all. So that's another way, that I uncovered that I really had very little fear, if any at all, for most things, especially for what I love. Because that was the thing that kind of boggled my mind. How can I be so fearful of doing something that I love to do, that makes me feel great? How do I get a fear out of this? How did I develop a fear? But it was never a fear. And the more we talk about this, I'm starting to realize maybe fear is not, like we just said, it's not real. It doesn't exist at all. There's an example of it right there. It doesn't exist. Maybe the whole time it's just been you being anxious. You're just energetic,
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, you got a little bit of adrenaline because you're ready to go. Yeah, but that's all positivity, right?
It needs to be channeled.
Exactly.
It needs to be channeled.
Unchanneled.
It just makes me think that when I was a kid and I was younger, we used to get in a lot of fights, right? And my thing was, that's why I didn't like to do a lot of back and forth before I get in a fight. I didn't like to do a lot of talking, not because I was so tough and I was just...
Exactly.
It was because I didn't want the energy to build.
Right.
I don't want to be in my head too much.
Ready
I don't want to psych myself out.
Right.
I'm anxious. I'm ready to fucking kill.
Right.
So I got to do something with it. So my first thing, I'm taking off first. As soon as I feel like there's something going on. Because I don't want to give no extra energy to the situation. I want this shit to end quickly. That's how I used to approach when I was a kid in any type of confrontation, physical confrontation, altercation.
Right.
Because That's why, because I didn't want the anxiety to build. I don't want to get in my head too much. I didn't want fear to set in. Because that's what happens. When motherfuckers get in their head too much about things, they psych themselves out. And I didn't want to do that. I just needed to react. So I was often the first person to fucking go, make the move, because that was why I did it. I didn't want fear to kick in. I fucking hate the way fear feels to this day. That's why I say you got nothing to fear but fear itself. That makes so much sense. I never wanted.
It's crazy because it doesn't even really exist at all.
Yeah, I don't like the feeling of it. Which is why I don't like to overthink things. Still to this day, because that makes me fucking anxious. I'm starting to learn as I've grown older. I'm almost 40. I'm starting to realize, it's like most things that we give energy to is just not necessary. It's not necessary to put so much energy out. I'm learning that it's like we waste a lot of energy on physical, mental, sexual, all types of shit we could be using for other things. We over fucking do it with our energy.
Speaking of that, real quick, if you haven't seen our video on managing your energy, you should go check that out. We have a video about managing our energy, your energy. We just did it yesterday, by the way. It just came out yesterday. Check that video out, because that goes with what he's talking about as far as how we waste our energy a lot of time on things and waste a lot of our energy on fear. Worry.
And some of it's not really our fault. We're bombarded with it all day. All types of thoughts and feel and sounds and ideas and pictures and images about fear. It's all fear-based shit, and we're bombarded with it. I mean, shit, I feel bad for some of these kids that had to grow up in fear, from all the ideas that they hear now. They had to grow up with fear.
I mean, technically, they've got a lot more things to fear.
Yeah, they really do, I mean, we didn't grow up in COVID. That's a major thing for a kid to grow up into.
COVID and a gang of other shit, man. They got a lot to think about. Right?
Yeah, shit that makes
which is another thing that puts you in fear from thinking too much.
Yeah, man.
I said this yesterday in that video. I really believe the ingredient of to be happier in life is not overthinking.
Yeah.
Don't think too much.
That's what I mean.
It's unnecessary.
Most things don't require as much thought as we put it into.
Right.
We put into it. It's not necessary. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna make the thing that you are sitting there thinking about any better.
Right.
It's not gonna make it happen any faster. So why? Like have the thought, move on to being in the moment, because you're really just wasting the energy and the time that you have here. We don't know when we're gonna leave this fucking earth.
Right.
So don't give in to the fear. Is what we're saying. Be fearless. Be fearless. Try to be more brave. Try to be the opposite of fear. Try something every day to be more fearless. Do something you've never done before. Try something new. You know what I mean? Be more outgoing. Go talk to more people. Go to new areas. Go eat things you never ate before. If you're single, go out, get out, put yourself out there. If you want to date, go put yourself out there. Say something to a chick that you never said before. Take some chances in life.
It's anything, literally anything that you have never done.
Yeah.
It could be the smallest of things. It could be as simple as eating something different today.
Yeah.
Or just, going to a different neighborhood. I don't recommend going anywhere different at night.
Especially not in LA. Yeah, in LA, that's a different story, bro.
But I do recommend doing something different. That's all I'm saying. Do something different, man. It could be the slightest thing. It doesn't have to be a major change.
What's your energy?
But it's that small change that could change your whole world.
It really does, man. It definitely would change the vibe, And so that's how
fearless.
So just start being more fearless, man, because you weren't meant here to be living in fear. That's fucking sure.
Nah.
I know we're here. Whatever you're going through, whatever it is, there's something in that situation that you're in right now where you could be fearless. You know what I mean? There's something there. Just sit and think. Be quiet. Pay attention. Be observant. There's something that you can be fearless about, and then see what happens after that. You know what I mean? But we're not here. Weren't meant to be living in fear. I just say that we're not meant to be doing that. We should be at peace, and you deserve it.
And I really think on the other side of that opportunity that you find where you're fearful, that fearless opportunity that you take, the other side of that, I'm telling you, dude, it's some of the greatest feeling you'll ever feel. Better than drugs. You'll find it. You'll find it. Yeah. You'll find freedom on that.
You'll be empowered.
You'll find power. Right.
So honestly, man, from the bottom of my heart, I love y'all. I really do. And that's why we're saying what we're saying today, because we want to be able to connect with y'all. So please like, share, and subscribe. Holler back at us in them comments, because this is some real shit, some real insights that we can connect on. Get back at us.
Yeah, and if you think there's somebody that might be able to benefit from this video as well, make sure to share it with them. Please.
So at the end of the day, love yourself. You know, I love myself, and I love you. I love you because I love myself. So,
No doubt.
love yourself for yourself.
Cool.
All right, y'all.